before making a hypnotherapy appointment, a question that you might ask yourself is, how hypnotizable am I? Am I hypnotizable? That's a reasonable question to ask, isn't it? And there has been research on this, and the research shows that around 10% of people are highly hypnotizable. About 10% of people have a low susceptibility to hypnosis, and the rest of us are sort of in the middle. The 80%, are in the middle. So I suppose the short answer is yes, you probably are hypnotizable. And they've tried to discover why in the research, why this is the case. And there has been some evidence that the neurotransmitters in our brain, the chemical messengers in our brain, the presence of those like dopamine and GABA, they can indicate that we are, the high presence of those can show that we are more likely to be highly hypnotizable. Low levels showing less susceptibility to hypnosis. It's not that useful, is it, really, to know that? Because I don't know how much dopamine I've got running around in my brain, so it still doesn't really help me to know whether that makes me more hypnotizable or not. There's been some correlation between intelligence and hypnotizability. The more intelligent tend to be the more hypnotizable, but then intelligence, is difficult to measure. There's so many different types of intelligence, and we know there are lots of failings with the standard IQ test, and I think that's what they were using in that research, was just the standard IQ test. So really there are many different factors that we can't really measure. In my experience as a hypnotherapist, and I know that many of my colleagues say the same, is that if you want to be hypnotized, then you can be. You can put the barrier up and say, oh, nobody's going to hypnotize me, or I don't want to be hypnotized, and you probably won't be then. And that's good news, really, isn't it? So some people are quite nervous about the thought of going into hypnosis sometimes, and that might be a little bit of a reason to be looking into hypnotherapy, but at the same time being a little bit wary. And that's understandable, isn't it? And I think that really comes from stage hypnosis, doesn't it? We see pictures on, we see people on TV barking like a dog and clucking like a chicken, and nobody wants to be doing that unless they volunteered for it, which of course they have if they went to a stage show for with a stage hypnotist. And I think the main difference with stage hypnosis and hypnotherapy is intention. My intention anyway as a hypnotherapist is to help people create the changes that they want. And in a way, using hypnosis is a way to create those changes much faster, because we use the unconscious mind. We're able to access the unconscious mind where our patterns are made. That's where our patterns of behavior are, and where, things we know about ourselves and things we know about our experiences in our life is held in our unconscious. So accessing that unconscious in a really lovely, relaxed way, which is how we feel in hypnosis. Hypnosis is a state of deep relaxation and really strong attention of focus on what is happening in you. So what the suggestions that I'm making for you. And you can either choose in hypnotherapy, you can choose to accept or reject these suggestions. So you're totally in control. So that's another difference with stage hypnosis. It's intention and control. So you're completely in control with hypnotherapy. You can either take the suggestions or reject them. And so it's a wonderful, most people will open their eyes after hypnosis and just say, oh, I feel so relaxed. And it's a lovely, I find that it's a beautifully deep, relaxed feeling, and very regenerative in and of itself. You can feel really revived just after experiencing the hypnosis even. And then the therapy, is something that's the addition that helps change whatever you came to change, which is wonderful. And most of us will have experienced this sort sort of state of hypnosis anyway in our daily, everyday lives. Perhaps if you drive, you know, you might have had that experience of arriving somewhere and thinking, oh my God, how did I get here? I don't remember driving here. But you know that you've arrived safely, all in one piece. So, and you know that if somebody had put their brake lights on in front of you, you would have touched your brakes, and that probably did happen several times. Well, it would have done, wouldn't it? So, you know, although you're in that sort of trance state, so that you sort of focused on something else, you're also in control. So, and if you read a book and got really engrossed in a book, you know, that feeling where you really feel like you're really there, that's flow state. That's very much the feeling of how it feels like to be in a hypnotic trance or in hypnosis. So yeah, most of us will have had that experience already. And there are some different things, you know, you can sort of test for yourself, if you like, some fun tests to do to see whether you'd perhaps be somebody who's highly hypnotizable or not. You can do a lemon test. You might like to look that up online, the lemon test, to see if that is something that works for you. So I hope this has been useful for you in some way to, you know, discern whether you're hypnotizable or not, and you know whether hypnotherapy might be useful for you. And I'd love to help you if you want to change something in your life, or just live more fully, really. Then I would be really love to help you. Whether that's with the menopause or with stress, trauma, anxiety, panic attacks, or you know, fear of something like flying or whatever, anything. Please get in touch, and you can book a free session. So I do free consultation, free 30-minute consultation. Just click the button on the website, or you can email me, Gez@brayhypnotherapy.com. Thank you for listening.